You know, I used to enjoy this time of year. Get together, watch Star Wars, have fun at its expense.
Sorry to break it to you, Tim, but we're out of Star Wars prequels.
We could have reviewed the Clone Wars movie.
That's just a feature-length TV show pilot, and you know it.
A good feature-length TV pilot, as opposed to this piece of dribble.
What this is the first true request I've ever gotten for this show. I aim to keep that promise.
Before the sun sets, I'm gonna make you regret that decision. Ah, this is a special occasion, isn't it?
Let the games begin, old friend.
Should I leave you two alone?
Rango, an animated Western film starring Johnny Depp as the titular chameleon character. This movie came and went and was relatively successful, but quite frankly, I don't think it gets enough attention.
Actually, this movie was touted as something much better than what it turned out to be. Odds are that Johnny Depp's name was used so much when advertising it because they wanted to lure in the kids who love Jack Sparrow. After some of your reviews, you should know much better than to talk like that.
This is not the Swan Princess movies, Tim. This came out only 4 years ago. I doubt my opinions have changed that much.
Hey, Frozen only came out a year and a half ago.
No one asked you!
Of course not. No one ever asks Tylor.
Alright, Tylor. What did you think of Rango?
I thought it was okay. I mean, not great, but definitely not bad.
Well, if nothing else, it seems Tim and I are in for a debate. Let's take a look at Rango. The extended edition.
What? You deceitful son of a... Fine. We'll do an extended look at how wrong you are. We start off with way too many production company logos, followed by narration from some owl characters that exist beyond the story.
We are gathered here today to immortalize in song the life and untimely death of a great legend.
Ah, taking the Tangled approach. And this movie's PG, so they might actually have the balls to kill him.
Then we get to see our main character, an as of yet nameless lizard.
Ma. Ma. Fma! Fma!
The hell is going on?
Warm-ups. It's a theater thing.
I could be anyone. I could be the sea captain returning from a mighty voyage. Or I could be the rogue anthropologist battling pythons down in the Congo. I will become the greatest lover the world has ever known. Hola.
If this scene has one purpose, it's to show a Johnny Depp midlife crisis on screen.
However, the plot literally demands conflict, so the chameleon is launched from his familiar surroundings in spectacular fashion. That is to say, spectacularly illogical fashion. Almost as illogical as evaporation and molting becoming instantaneous in extreme heat.
Also, stranded on the road is a road-killed armadillo on a quest. But instead of helping this poor dying creature, the chameleon tries to decide if he wants to sound like Jack Sparrow or Kermit the Frog.
The other side, you mean that just now that was you crossing the road? That's why the... Why'd you do that?
This is my quest. He waits for me.
What? Who?
The spirit of the West, I must get to the other side.
Why don't you just wait until there are no cars coming?
It's not so easy as it looks.
What?
It's a metaphor.
You shouldn't have to tell us it's a metaphor if you're doing it right. After giving physics the middle finger again, more confusion ensues.
You need a little help, amigo.
Siri, can an armadillo survive being run over?
Interesting question, Master Jedi.
That's amusing and all, but I thought the owls were supposed to be distant observers, as in not acknowledged by the characters of the story.
Animals have had millions of years to adapt to the harsh environment. But the lizard? He's going to die.
We heard you the first time. We get it.
On his way through, the chameleon tries to blend in to avoid being eaten, failing badly because it's a metaphor?
Sure, why not?
We're practically related. I let you kiss my sister.
The pairing of these sentences does not compute.
You son of a...
That's what a PG rating will get you these days.
Now, because this movie thinks it's so good at metaphors, here's another one.
Where are your friends now, amigo?
Then we get another character, a desert iguana named Beans. Naturally, our main character makes every wrong first impression.
What's your name?
Beans.
That's a funny kind of name.
What can I say? My daddy plumb loved baked beans.
Well, you're lucky he didn't plumb love asparagus. Gee.
You are eating his ashes.
You carry his remains?
No, his ashes. He loved to smoke. They never found the body.
Despite this, he gets a ride to the town of Dirt.
Well, I'm a man of many epithets. There's my stage name, my pen name, my avatar. Had a pseudonym once, but had it legally changed.
I know this movie got good reviews, but this chameleon's really starting to annoy me.
Sure do appreciate this, Miss Beans, and if there's ever anything that I
Get
can...
on up.
I love it when a movie understands my feelings.
Entering the town saloon, the Western atmosphere is nailed immediately without much trouble.
I'd like a glass of water.
Making it double.
Cactus juice. That's what we got.
Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
Our titular character finally gets named by reading his drink bottle.
I'm from the West. Out there, beyond the horizon. Past the sunset. The far West. You might say I'm from everywhere there's trouble brewing and hell waiting to be raised. You might say I'm what hell's already raised up. Name's Rango.
He said he could be anyone, so he decided to be someone much less annoying. I like it.
Well, Tim. You getting soft on me already?
I didn't say the grave digging had to start quickly.
Are neither of you going to acknowledge the trap Rango's putting himself into? He's telling huge lies that are probably doomed to bite him in the butt later.
Are you the fella that killed them Jenkins brothers?
Uh-huh. Killed him with one bullet. Don't get no deader.
Oh, 7 of them.
True enough. That means a lot of revealed moments coming up later, and that's rarely good for a movie.
Now the grave digging can begin.
Shut up.
Grab your shovel, detective.
Anyway, following his story, a small gang of ruffians enter the bar. Well, the gauntlet has been thrown. Time for a good old-fashioned standoff.
And if you don't want to reconsider, I might consider reconsidering myself. Now that's what I'm talking about.
To telling that bird what for.
When you see me coming, stand aside. I take large steps, and I don't want none of you hayseeds getting your bodily fluids on my boots.
Or not, but we're definitely in for something fun. I know this movie is full of anthropomorphic animals, but I'm calling bullshit on that. And now I'm not totally sure what to think. Call it a happy accident, if you will, but Rango has a major accomplishment to back up his smack talk now. We'll have to see if he keeps it up.
And so the stranger basks in the adulation of his new friends, sinking deeper into the guacamole of his own deception.
When is he going to die?
Soon, compadre. Soon.
With over 1 hour left in the movie, oh sure, any minute now.
Rango meets the mayor and discovers that the town is experiencing a drought. The biggest problem with that, their currency is water. You know, in a desert environment, oddly enough, that makes sense.
Water, Mr. Rango. Water. Without it, there's nothing but dust and decay. But with water, there's life. To control the water, and you control everything.
Oh, and hello there, obvious villain of the movie.
To inspire some hope in the people, the mayor appoints Rango as sheriff. Meanwhile, Beans believes there's a conspiracy behind the water shortage and goes to the new sheriff for help.
I got a 10-gallon hat marked down from 15.
That's nice.
Have you met Angelique?
Hello, Beans.
Hello, Angelique.
Tart.
Floozy.
Trello.
PG!
I am trying to save my daddy's ranch, which is on the verge of an agricultural meltdown while you playing patty cake with this here trollop.
Why does she do that?
It's a survival reflex.
The switch is just broken.
As the clock strikes noon, the town goes out to a giant spigot for water, but are met with dismal results. Well, we should be fine as long as no one mentions that there's no water in the bank.
There's no water in the bank!
Huh? Oops. Then, in one of the movie's best comedic moments, Rango drinks a bunch of said water to prove a point to everybody.
Let's say this fella here were to take a drink of water. Just one little drink, no harm, no foul, right? And you! Why, you're just as dried up and parched as a jackrabbit in July. So you belly on up and take you a double shot. And before you know it, there wouldn't be any more water. And then where would we be? We'd be thirsty.
However, he then dedicates himself to protecting it.
This ain't the bank.
Told you, Jedediah.
Hold it right there.
It's scared.
Just as I suspected. Prospecting without the authorized equipment. You got your shovel, pickaxe, Benadryl, loofah, sorted snacks, some puzzle books, and you're gonna need a permit.
Much obliged.
The bank's been robbed! The bank's been robbed!
That went real well, didn't it? Sheriff Rango is in for it now.
Prospecting permit.
I'll take that. Material evidence.
What?
Well, hey, at least his intentions were good. Now, for some reason, I think I need a drink of water.
Steven, how insensitive can you be?
What?
They're in the middle of a drought.
Tim, that is within the world of the movie. It has no bearing on what's happening right.
You'll be in charge of all tracking and finding the villains, utilizing your well-developed ingenuity. No offense taken.
Oh, gee, thanks a lot, Tim. You just ruined my chance to do a spit take on that incredibly racist remark.
Why don't you do it? Because Rango is obviously at fault here.
That's a good point. Though he seems to be hiding his tracks most of the time, other times I can't tell if he's ignoring things on purpose or if he's just that clueless.
As for what they choose not to ignore...
Sure is humid down here.
Yeah, he's activating my piles.
I had a goiter removed once. Looked like Tony Bennett stepping out of a shower.
Shoot, I put that on the tortilla.
There's another good point. Dialogue establishing character and tone is one thing, but this just seems disgusting and unnecessary. Which is probably why it's only in the extended version.
I will concede that point. And believe it or not, I do it gladly.
Heading west, one blind, one with enlarged prostate.
How does he know that, and why is it important to mention?
Which one of you fellers needs a checkup?
Never mind, don't care, moving on.
This one time, I coughed up an entire Dalmatian.
I found a human spinal column in my fecal matter once.
You might want to get that looked at.
Come on, we do not need to waste precious seconds of animation talking about this crap. No pun intended. Why don't you talk about something important to the story?
What are you going to do about Rattlesnake Jake? Jake? You mean my brother?
There you go. That's important information.
But he's a snake and you're a lizard.
Well, Mama had an active social life.
What the is wrong with this movie?
I've waited 4 years to hear you say that.
So the movie has a few nasty jokes. But so far, it's done a few good things too. Let's see if it can't manage more of those.
Around here, we just call them the Walking Cactus. I thought if I could follow them, they'd lead me to someplace wonderful. Someplace with enough water for everyone. You ever get lonely?
You know, it's an awful solitary existence out there on the prairie. Riding the ranges and the such like. Beans? Beans?
Now that was alright, wasn't it?
It was kind of romantic. The next day, they come across the family that robbed the bank. The posse uses Rango's theatrics and tries to surround them, but they are outnumbered by the rest of the family.
What follows is an action scene that's wildly illogical on the counts of both physics and the technology available to people of that era. But it looks awesome. However, they find out that the stolen jug was empty before it even left the bank. They return to town empty-handed, save for a few prisoners.
Rango plays a bit of golf with the mayor. Civil discussion ensues, but with sinister subtext.
Something you said keeps rattling around in my frontal lobe.
What's that?
Control the water, and you control everything.
I was here before the highway split this great valley. I watched the march of progress, and I learned a thing or two.
What are you building out here?
The future, Mr. Rango. You can either be part of it, or you can be left behind. Call in Rattlesnake Jake.
With their water supply completely gone, the town gets a bit crazy, but Rango somehow manages to pull them together again.
So you want something to believe in, Spoons? Believe in me. Believe in that there sign. For as long as it hangs there, we got hope.
Joke's on the shooter, it looks like. However loosely, that sign is still up. And now jokes are off, people. I don't know exactly how that gun for a tail thing works, but it's aesthetically pleasing, and as for putting it on a rattlesnake, that is badass. And not even half as badass as the demeanor given to Jake himself by the voice of Bill Nighy.
One bullet, wasn't it? Isn't that right? Just show your friends here what you're made of. You got killer in your eyes, son. I don't see it.
This is my town.
If I ever see you again, I will take your soul straight down to hell.
I've never seen a liar reveal scene so completely devastating before. Even in the West, where everything is decided by gunshot, who needs physical pulverization at this point?
Who am I? I'm nobody.
I'm not sure why this is being done. Like any lie revealed storyline, far more is put on display based on the lie told by the hero than what they've been able to do in spite of the lie. They probably do it because we don't want to encourage lying in a kids movie.
Rango mopes for a few minutes, and he makes it to the fabled other side. And when he does, he comes across the repeatedly mentioned Spirit of the West.
So you made it.
What are you doing out here?
Searching, same as you.
I don't even know what I'm looking for anymore. I don't even know who I am.
Doesn't matter what they call you. It's the deeds make the man.
Called it! We find out that the water was siphoned away by human civilization, and even the cacti cannot survive at this point.
Rango enlists the Possum family to rescue the prisoners, who are due to hang soon, and the mayor tries to negotiate with Beans to get the last patch of land he needs.
Sign the damn paper, woman!
Go to hell!
Where do you think I come from? Look into my eyes. I want to see you die.
I want to see the light leave your eyes! Jake!
After using the bats as an eagle silhouette to fool Jake and get water to erupt all over the town, the plan unfortunately falls prey to the damsel in distress card. And here I thought this...
Does anybody here know how to use a firearm of any kind?
...would mean something.
Rango and Beans are locked up in the vault of water as, big shocker, the mayor pulls a betrayal.
Pretty soon, no one will believe you even existed.
Where I come from, we call this improvisation.
You came back.
I think you just swallowed Plan B.
What?
No, okay, just no. Even if you ignore the fact that the water pressure was too high by that point for breaking glass, there is no way the velocity of that bullet was high enough. And I know a lot of the scenes we talked about earlier in the movie ignore physics too, but here's the difference. Those scenes operated on fake, hypothetical logic, while this scene operated on no logic at all.
Yet again, Rango saves the day with one bullet. All that is left is the comeuppance.
Pretty soon, no one will believe you even existed. From humble beginnings to the legend we sing of today. And although he is certain to die, perhaps from a household accident, which accounts for 65% of all unnatural deaths.
Well, they didn't go the tangled route with resurrecting him, but neither did they have the balls to kill him. The audience has been duped.
The people of the village will honor his memory, even as they abandon their dignity.
And now, for the extended ending of the movie.
Water ain't money, money is money now.
I ain't got no nickel.
We're talking hard here.
We have a problem. Oh, let Snuggles in the pool again.
I really think you complete me.
The extended version of this movie is 4 minutes longer than the theatrical version. And I'm starting to see where most of the effort went.
What's going on?
Well, in order to satisfy the needs of the collective, the hero must abandon the self and solidify his image as an icon that will forever be remembered.
So this is the sunset shot.
Ready, Excelsior? My fellow comrades, there will be times when you doubt yourself, when you feel pummeled by the cataclysms of life. Remember this moment. Remember me. Know that I will be there watching you, sometimes at inappropriate moments. That's part of the deal.
I think the NSA just got their new motto.
Within all of us resides the true spirit of the Let's take it from the top.
A draw. That sounds about right, because at this point, my opinions have become a little muddied. However, I still think this movie is better than people give it credit for. It shows off the cliches and attitudes of the Western genre well. It has a character who falls into an unexpected role and, save for the liar revealed moment, manages to hold his own. Being PG, it also goes for a few humorous moments that are a little out of the politically correct conventional kids movie jokes, which I think is important for the sake of not sheltering kids. But a lot of those jokes are also unnecessarily disgusting, and I could do without them.
I still think this movie could have done better. The gross out humor really can be a bit much. The infamous liar reveal scene stops the movie for about 10 minutes. And frankly, there's a lot of minor annoyances that make me not want to watch this movie again. But maybe it's not outright horrible? For all intents and purposes, this movie probably did a serviceable job. I just had it hyped up for me too much. If you want to give it a shot, go ahead and watch the theatrical version. It'll cut out some of the more insufferable parts of the movie.
Especially the stupid ending.
Amen to that. However, the ratio of stupidity in this movie to its plot holes is relatively tame.
How is the bullet able to crack the vault's glass?
Apart from the blatant ignorance of physics, it's also the door of a vault with incredibly thick glass that should have been way more difficult to fracture.
Why didn't Jake take the moments where people were talking to him to just pounce, bite, or strangle them?
Arguably, it could be because he still had a gun pointed at him. Which brings me to my next point.
Why are guns a threat to Rattlesnake Jake?
Guns from the human world would be, certainly, but that's a very thick hide for weapons of that scale to pierce.
Old Tim was always a wanderer. Rolls into town one day, causes a little mischief, and then keeps on wandering. He never stays for long, but when you see him around these parts, you can be sure of one thing. Another year of Film Noir has come to an end.
Ma.